I do want you to talk about, the idea of the people you're hanging around. You said social networks, because high achievers, I don't know that anybody would disagree with this fact that, so much of the habits and the performance in your life are affected by the people you hang around. It's just a reality. We may all have the lovable goofball that we stayed friends with forever, right? But we didn't hang out with that guy for the last 20 years as we moved on from high school. Speak to the importance of systems and habits around people that are going to push us and pull us.
So again, let's come back to the scientific basis. So all humans have this deep primal desire to belong. Mm-hmm. Our ancestors are living in tribes, and if you were abandoned by the tribe, it was a death sentence, right? We want to fit in, we want to belong, we care about what others think of us, because for many years it helped us if others thought well of us, and still it does today, right? But it was literally a death sentence if you didn't belong for a long time. And so today we inherit that desire. We have that same desire to belong. And as a result, we are part of many tribes. And some of those tribes are large, like what it means to be American, or what it means to be French or Australian or whatever. Or some of those tribes are small, like what it means to be a neighbor on your street, or to be a member at your local CrossFit gym, or to be a volunteer at the elementary school. But all of those tribes, large and small, have a set of shared expectations for how you act in that group. And you can see this in all sorts of habits. You get onto an elevator and you're expected to turn around and face the front. Or you have a job interview and you wear something nice, like a suit and a tie or a dress. Now, there's no reason that it has to be like that, right? You could face the back of the elevator. You could wear a bathing suit to a job interview. But we don't do that because it violates the expectations of that group, of the people that are in the room, that tribe. And this is true for many of our habits. When habits and behaviors allow you to fit in, to belong with the group, they're very attractive and we want to stick with them. And when habits force you to stand out or stick out or cast out from the group, then they're very unattractive and we want to avoid them. And so the key insight here, and I think this is where we take this from this scientific basis to a more practical application, is you want to join tribes, you want to join groups where the desired behavior is the normal behavior. And I think a lot about my own entrepreneurial experience when I think about this, because when I started, I started my company 8 years ago, and I didn't have any entrepreneurs in my family. I didn't even really have any that were close friends. I had one guy that I knew from high school who was a DJ, but I feel like everybody has someone in high school they knew who were a DJ. It's like
that's right.
So it wasn't really much of an advantage. But my point here is that I needed to build that tribe. And so you want to join a group where the desired behavior is the normal behavior. So I had to send probably 300-400 emails over the first 6 months. And I was just asking other entrepreneurs who had already succeeded at what I was trying to do if they wanted to chat on Skype for an hour. And most of them said no. But by the time I got to the end of those 6 months, I had maybe 30 or 40 people who had said yes, who I had chatted with. Now I had a tribe that I could go to with questions. And this funny thing happened because I thought it was strange enough to me to build a business, but to build a really successful one seemed like it was for other people, right? But once I got to know some of those folks, once they became friends, not only did it not seem like it was for other people, it just seemed like it was normal. It seemed like that's what all the people around me were doing. And so you kind of soak up all of these habits and behaviors, these philosophies and thought processes. I guess we could call it both habits of thinking and habits of acting from the people that you're surrounded by. And that's true not just for my business example, it's true for anything. If you hang out with a bunch of jazz musicians, then playing music 5 nights a week probably sounds normal to you, even though most people don't do that. And it works like that in pretty much any area. So the key insight here is that we imitate the habits of those around us. And so by shaping the tribes that you belong to, you often shape your habits just by imitation.
Yes, great point. So glad you said that. That is absolutely, if you heard nothing else in this entire interview, that last sentence, folks, you ought to tweet it, you ought to write it down and look at it. I think it's absolutely invaluable.